There is a reason a highly advanced, perfectly healthy immune system never panics when a virus enters the body. The immune system does not negotiate with the sickness. It does not scream. It does not get anxious. And it certainly does not surrender. It simply operates in the background. It instantly identifies the foreign threat, completely surrounds it, and quietly neutralizes the danger before the host even realizes they were under attack. I need you to internalize that exact process today, because what happens inside a healthy physical body is exactly what is currently happening in your spiritual environment. You are actively walking through spaces filled with highly contagious, deeply toxic people. You are dealing with individuals who have spent their entire lives perfecting the dark arts of manipulation, deception, and psychological control. They are actively trying to infect your peace. But you are not getting sick. You are not breaking down. Because you, as a chosen one, have been equipped with an impenetrable divine firewall. God's true power has made you entirely immune to their magic. We need to have a profoundly deep, highly observant conversation today about the reality of psychological witchcraft and exactly why the people who are trying to cast spells of confusion and fear over your life are currently terrified by your absolute lack of a reaction. Let's call their manipulation exactly what it is. It is dark magic. I am not necessarily talking about Hollywood movies with potions and crystal balls. I am talking about the very real, highly destructive spells that toxic people cast using their words, their energy, and their malicious intentions. A master manipulator is essentially a street illusionist. They operate entirely on sleight of hand. They want you looking at their right hand while their left hand steals your peace. They use gaslighting to cast a heavy spell of confusion, making you doubt your own memory. They use the silent treatment to cast a hex of severe anxiety, hoping you will panic and beg for their attention. They use smear campaigns to project their own dirty, dark energy onto your clean reputation. Their entire power relies on your willingness to be hypnotized. They need you to accept their fake reality. For years, this magic actually worked on the people around them. They successfully brainwashed their family members. They easily controlled their ex-partners. They pulled the strings, and the puppets always danced on command. And then they confidently walked up to you and tried to cast their absolute best spell. They looked you in the eyes, delivered a highly calculated lie, and waited for you to fall into the trance. But nothing happened. You didn't get confused. You didn't start doubting your sanity. You just stared back at them with absolute, terrifying clarity. Your spiritual immune system immediately flagged their words as malicious malware, completely blocked the download, and deleted the virus before it could even enter your nervous system. I want to explain the absolute shockwave this sends through a manipulator's brain. When a toxic person realizes that their psychological magic has absolutely zero effect on you, they experience a catastrophic loss of control. It is the equivalent of a magician standing on a massive stage, performing their grand finale, only for the audience to see the hidden wires holding up the prop. The illusion is entirely ruined. They are sitting there asking themselves, why aren't they crying? Why didn't that insult destroy their self-esteem? How are they seeing straight through my mask? They are panicking because your immunity exposes their weakness.
When they try to send you the evil eye, or when they secretly pray for your downfall out of pure jealousy, that dark energy hits your divine firewall and aggressively bounces right back to the sender. God has wrapped your spirit in a frequency that low-level demonic manipulation simply cannot penetrate. You have to understand the specific mechanics of this divine protection. When the Holy Spirit occupies your internal space, it acts as the ultimate shock absorber. When a toxic person throws chaos at you, the Holy Spirit intercepts the blow. It takes the heavy, chaotic, angry energy of the manipulator, entirely neutralizes it, and allows you to respond with cold, calculated peace. This is why they call you intimidating. They do not know what to do with a person who refuses to absorb their poison. But I want to address a very real human fear that you might still be carrying. Because you are highly intuitive, you can physically feel when someone is sending bad intentions your way. You can feel the heavy, jealous stares. You can sense when a group of toxic people are sitting in a room whispering about you. And sometimes, that awareness triggers a spike of anxiety. You start wondering if their hatred is going to somehow block your blessings. You worry that their smear campaign is going to ruin your future.
I am giving you a massive, non-negotiable spiritual truth today. You must completely drop that fear right now. You are giving their cheap magic way too much credit. The opinions of a bitter, unhealed, manipulative person hold absolutely zero currency in the kingdom of heaven. A toxic person cannot override a divine decree. If God has commanded a door to open for you, an entire army of jealous haters cannot pull it shut. If God has ordered a season of massive financial and spiritual harvest for your life, their ugly gossip cannot stop the rain from falling on your crops. Your destiny is completely out of their jurisdiction. Their manipulation only has power if you voluntarily step out of your fortress and agree to play their game. If you stay seated in your divine authority, they are just aggressively throwing pebbles at a titanium vault. So, how do you govern yourself in this season of absolute immunity? You stop flinching. When they try to trigger you with a passive-aggressive comment, you do not flinch. When you find out they lied about you to a mutual friend, you do not panic. When they try to run a guilt trip on you to force you back into a toxic cycle, you do not negotiate. You simply observe their desperate behavior with the quiet, detached curiosity of a scientist watching a failed experiment. You let them exhaust themselves. You let them cast their little spells. You let them spin their illusions for the gullible people who are still blind enough to believe them. You do not need to prove to them that their magic isn't working. Your completely unbothered, highly successful, heavily protected life is already proving it every single day. I am incredibly curious about the exact moment your divine immunity fully activated. Do you remember the specific day a manipulator tried their absolute hardest to make you panic, and instead of feeling anxious, you just felt a profound, heavy peace? How did they react when they realized their psychological witchcraft was completely useless against you? Share your powerful testimony in the comments below. We need to document these massive victories today to remind someone else that they are completely bulletproof. Keep your spiritual firewall turned entirely on. Rest in your absolute protection, and let their magic bounce right back to where it came from.